Olika Castle, situated in Volyn, is repeatedly mentioned in archive resources mostly dated starting from 16th century. Historical mentions on the possessions of Radziwiłł, who was the supporter of the King of Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, relate to the threat of respected guests represented by intelligentsia and foreign representatives of the papal ounces. Upon the entry, the castle's ensemble began from the statue of the Mother of God from Loreto. Chancellor of Lithuania, Radziwiłł, was proud of his family palace surrounded by plenty of household estates. Cozy Olika's residence, being more like a fortress by its architecture, was complemented by stables. On the territory of the manor, there was the biggest Roman Catholic church built in Volyn. Also, the prince initiated the building of the St. Christ's Hospital, where the medical aid was given to people living upon Catholic guidelines. External design of Olika Castle is made in Renaissance and Baroque style, and inside it consists of English engravings and big collection of works of art. The library of Radziwiłł counts 6,000 of ancient books and valuable manuscripts. The yard of the fortress was planted with fruit trees and perennial flower gardens. Outside the castle, the residents had deep ditches with water in the case of raid of Swedes or soldiers of Peter the Great. On the edge of 19th–20th centuries, Olika Castle had some changes regarding repair and restoration works. The project of Polish architect Zihor Cholewski, reproduced in three-floor building, lost decorations based on our own visions of the famous master. The part of a square bastion still has reminded French Versailles. A large-scale work of restoration of the building lasted about 30 years. A local historian certified that during the period of the Great Patriotic War, the building suffered a big fire. All valuable objects of interior were plundered, and ancient printed publications were banally burnt by soldiers of the Red Army for heating up. After restoration, during the post-war years, Olika Castle became a horse factory, and later it was designed as a psychiatric hospital. Every year, thousands of tourists come to Ukraine from abroad and travel into Volyn necessarily visit Olika Castle. The land area is about 5 hectares of land, where over 10 generations grew up. Local guides conduct cognitive excursions for all people interested in the history of this former aristocratic residence, where Ferdinand Radziwiłł loved to have a rest with his family. The history of Olika Castle, a long time ago interwoven with fantasy myths, and in this picturesque area, people want to think over the real sense of life. Foreigners confess that being in this area, they feel themselves to be in other historical dimension. And it's true, because from the time of Galician Volyn, stayed up to our days, the spirit of glorious family of Radziwiłł has been surrounding the famous manor. Olika Castle is nothing else but a real treasure that has survived from 16th century to our days. Neither raids of Tatars nor attacks of Hitler's invasion didn't ruin this memorable building of bastion type. Satisfied condition of the manor gives the opportunity to visit the premise by an excursion group and be inspired by the history of famous Olika Palace Fortress, being an amazing combination of elegance and defending stronghold.